Good day, everyone. David DeBay over at Polaris Trading Group. Hope everybody is doing well and staying safe in this trying time for everyone. Today is Saturday, March 28th, 2020. Thought we would take an opportunity to review the 3-day cycle as it unfolded this past week. Get some educational benefits out of the unfolding of the cycle as it played out. Before we get to that, industry regulations require that I identify and highlight NFA Compliance Rule 2-29, which simply says that trading is risky. Trade with only money you can afford to lose. Trading in futures and derivatives on futures is speculative in nature and involves substantial risk of loss. Past performance is not indicative of future results, and this presentation is for educational purposes only. Let's get to the cycle. Okay, so what I've done here is I've highlighted the entire week's cycle period, beginning Sunday evening on the bottom left, where we had a locked limit down market during the Globex session. Monday opened and we got a positive Fed announcement regarding interest rates going to zero later in this, so we got a pretty solid spike there, and then later in the session market gave back most of the gains but held firm above the locked limit area. As Tuesday Globex opened, prices then found a firm bid and then continued throughout the entire session of a cycle day one Monday. That was Tuesday. And the secure low was established early in the session. So keep in mind the core goal of cycle day one is to establish a secure low from which to rally. And when that secure low happens early in the session, right, that establishes a core baseline from which to rally. So as you can clearly see, Tuesday we had an expansion day which closed strong in its range with a wide value zone as well. That continued, of course, into the next session, Wednesday, cycle day 2, and then some backing and filling. So a typical cycle day 2 expectation is to back and fill with a positive bullish skew, and as you can see here, the market did in fact do that throughout the course of the session. It back tested the prior value high, found responsive buyers, and then as the session concluded, it concluded on a strong note as well. All right, so again, a pretty much textbook cycle day 1 and 2 up to this point. Globex session into cycle day 3. All right, found some again some sellers, and they came back down and retested once again that same area that was tested the prior session on cycle day 2. All right, as you can see, that held firm. Once the market was satisfied that a support was in place, as you can see on the cycle day 3, all right, the rally continued very aggressively, pushing up and closing into the highs, and again it exceeded the breakout above cycle day 2, which extended the rally. So again, one of the goals here is to continue the rally, right, as support was found to be solid, and the market proceeded as such. So as we came into Friday's session, you can see here that prices in the Globex early. So again, we closed these stars here is the prior close. So on a cycle day 3, prices closed high in their range. So there was a bit of a follow through on a cycle day 1 up to the penetration level. So what the penetration level indicates, or penetration zones here indicate, is that if price clears the prior cycle high, there's an average range projected historically, and those ranges are mapped out here on our chart here: 25, 2635, 2642. So you can see it pushes above the prior high. It fulfilled the initial penetration objective, but the bid did not hold, as you can clearly see, and prices traded back down through the prior cycle day 3 high. This basically formed what we referred to as a rejection. So one of the key items that we look for throughout the entire cycle is, since the prior high and lows are key reference levels, when those levels are tested, we always want to ask the question, is there acceptance or is there rejection? And that will determine what the next course of action will be. So as you can see here, our cycle was clearly a strong cycle and pretty much textbook throughout. As prices tested the cycle day 1 high, that was during the cycle day 3 high on cycle day 1, during the early Globex and Asian session, the market found responsive sellers stronger. Now remember, now we go back to our cycle. Okay, so we have two different cycle day 1s here. We have one that's coming off of a strong reaction from the Globex lows and the prior session lows, which found support. And this prior cycle day 1, actually there was no decline, which resulted in a strong rally. So that's, again, as I mentioned earlier, cycle day 1 can take a couple different forms, but the objective though is to find a secure low. Okay, so coming back at the end of the week, where the cycle completed cycle day 3 on its highs, there was some follow through, and that is to be expected. And again, the question is accept or reject. So clearly, as we entered into our RTH session, we had that answer already established during the Globex. So for those that are trading Globex, all right, and again, following the cycle, this scenario here is also a natural textbook scenario. So we're looking for and anticipating a decline for a cycle day 1. Okay, so we have what's called an average decline measurement that's based upon the spreadsheet. And again, I'm not showing the spreadsheet here, but rather the indicator that we use from the spreadsheet's data. You can see here this white line. It says the PTG TTT MA, which means the average decline for a cycle day 1. So what this means is, from the cycle day 3 high, there is an average decline distance that is calculated in advance, historical distance, and we use that as a target projection. So from off the cycle day 3 high, what is the average decline that would potentially unfold if that decline, of course, happened? So that brought us down to the 25-26 level, and we outline that target within our daily trade strategy. So the decline began during the Globex session, and as the RTH session unfolded, extended a little bit below that, found support. Now notice where prices are finding support at. Okay, prices are finding support at prior value highs, value high of cycle day 2. So we found support there. All right, and then prices proceeded to continue to find a bid, all right, and rally up to what we call the TTT level. This is the average range projection from a low, and as you can see here, that was fulfilled as well during the RTH session. And then later in the session, into the close, market reverted back to the initial support area. Okay. So all in all, this was a real good cycle, about as textbook as we could probably ask for in this environment or any environment. So it began with a strong cycle day 1, a backing and fill cycle day 2, once again into cycle day 3. Okay, tested that area one again for surety, sparked the rally, which concluded cycle day 3. Tried an extension beyond, failed to find a solid bid above that, and then rejected, reversed, back down through the prior high. Now that back down through the prior high actually is the trigger for a short with a stop above the excess high, and of course that happened early in the Globex, so the Globex traders had a good opportunity there. But even for us in the RTH session, if you were just trading RTH, again, one of the levels here, again, always know what the various previous levels are of support, resistance. So again, usually the value highs, value lows become reactions points. So we did have an opportunity around the 25.10s, 25.15 area to find support. All right, and for those RTH traders. Okay, plenty of opportunity throughout, and then concluding pretty much back at the reversion back to the mean for the close of the session. All right, so this was a great, really good cycle day or 3-day cycle sequence, and be sure to review the cycle day documents if need be. Again, you can find those each day in our trading room. We have a link to the document and the spreadsheets. If you have any questions regarding the 3-day cycle, all right, or any of the other aspects of what we do during our daily trade room, please don't hesitate to give me a shout. All right, David at PolarisTradingGroup.com. And I hope this has been helpful for a review. We'll see you guys on Monday. Have a great weekend. Stay safe. And be well. We'll see you then on Monday, guys. Thank you very much for your attention. Appreciate it.